Diversity, non-living things. What are materials? Materials are substances used to make objects. Importance of materials. Using suitable materials allow us to make a product as the material chosen must suit the purpose of the product. Materials can be classified into two categories. Natural materials. Man-made materials. Classification of materials. 1. Natural materials. Definition: materials that came from other living things, for example, plants or animals. Or materials found naturally underground, for example, rocks, which are used to make products. Example. 2. Man-made materials. Definition: artificial, synthetic materials made by humans to make products. Example, plastic. Usefulness of plastic: hard, strong, transparent, light, waterproof and moldable. Properties of materials. 1. Flexibility. Definition: ability to be bent easily without being damaged. Example, rubber, used to make tires. 2. Strength. Definition: ability to support heavier weight without breaking. Example, nylon, used to make umbrella, ropes. 3. Hardness, high strength. Definition: ability to scratch another object, or make a mark on another object. Example, steel is harder than wood. 4. Waterproof. Definition: ability to prevent water from passing through the material. Example, plastic. 5. Density. Definition: ability to float or sink on the water surface. 5. What is density? All materials are made of atoms. Atoms are very small particles invisible to the eye. When atoms are closely packed, the density becomes higher. Let us take a look at this diagram. Honey which sinks to the bottom has atoms very closely packed. Lamp oil on the other hand floats at the top and has atoms loosely packed. 6. Transparency. Definition: ability to allow light to pass through the material. Example, glass. Experiment objective and variables. We are going to conduct some experiments to understand all these properties of non-living things. Before we do that, let us take a look at how experiment is being designed. Whenever you do an experiment, there must always be an objective, independent variable, and dependent variable. The independent variable is the factor that you purposely change or control in order to see what effect it has. The variable that responds to the change in the independent variable is called the dependent variable. Here is an example. For example, let us look at an experiment involving moth. The objective is to develop an experiment to study the effect of light and dark on the behavior of moths. For independent variable, it would be the amount of light. For dependent variable, it will be the activity of the moth. Now let's try to understand experiment objective and variables. Let us give another example of an experiment and conduct this experiment. The objective is to develop an experiment to study how shape affects the density of object. Independent variables, different shapes of objects. Dependent variable, whether objects sink or float in water. Other variables which are kept the same in order that these factors do not affect or interfere with the dependent variable or outcome of the experiment include: all blocks are made of the same material, wood. Now we have our result. Ability for an object to float or sink is not affected by the shape, provided the object is made of the same material. Now are you ready for our first experiment?